Hi, I'm Eve and I use any pronouns.
And I'm Phoenix. I use they, them pronouns.
And this is Talkin in the Tavern.
Woo!
Woohoo! For March. Yes, this is March.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the month of March.
It's the month
we're
of
doing
March.
our February roundup.
Oh! Are we? Wait.
Well, yeah, because unless you've read a bunch of
yes.
books already this month.
You confused my brain.
Sorry. I mean, that would be a really interesting, 10-minute episode. So I've read one book this month. How about you?
I've read one thing.
Yeah, well, it's sort of a February roundup, but it's also sort of just like a roundup since our last Talking in the Tavern.
Yes. What we're reading and what we're currently investigating, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we on the same number? I need to know.
I think we
books.
are. So I've read 15 books this year. So
We're
far.
on the same number.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo! Which also means that we've kind of swapped, because I think last month you'd read 9 and I'd read 6 or something like that.
I read 6 this
So
month.
we must have swapped in February, and I read way more and you read way less.
I think I read such shit as well. I think because I think I jinxed myself in the first one of the year by saying next month I'll read absolute crap and only read 2 books, and I did.
You did.
Technically,
the prophecy came true.
I predicted. I foresaw. I am a prophet. Thank you, Andrew Garfield. But yeah, no, it didn't go well. Last month.
There's months and there's other months, you know? That's what I always say.
I just managed to pick up rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that of the 9 books I read in February, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, 5 of them were graphic novels.
Oh, stunning. Okay.
So it's and one was the big chunky sci-fi book that I'd been reading since mid-January.
That's impressive.
And the other one was an audiobook that I'd been listening to since November or something that I finished in February.
Well,
so
perhaps.
I only start to finish did 2 novels in February.
Pretty good going though. You
novels.
Deserve 8 graphic novels after that 1,000.
Well, this
sci-fi.
This is the thing. I finished that sci-fi one. And I was I'm gonna just quickly absorb a couple of graphic novels because I need to reset the brain.
Exactly.
And it worked.
Every time I read something too massive and chunky, I was 100-page novel. That's where I am. 100-page, something with pictures. It's going great. Need to reset. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Tell me some stuff you've just finished. Tell me everything. Tell me things. I haven't looked at your page in ages, just so I didn't want to spoil myself.
I obviously, like I said, I finished the big chunky sci-fi novel that I had. I think I don't think I'd finished it by the time we talked.
I don't think so.
For last Talking in the Tavern, I think I might have been getting there. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, but it was. My one criticism is that it was, and there is no other way to put this, it's very white man sci-fi.
Yeah.
There's not very. I mean, there's some diversity, but it's very just yeah. It didn't feel like it was doing anything that original in terms of the actual storytelling. The world building's kind of original, but I mean, the author didn't do that because it's a tie-in to a video game. So all the world building was already done.
It's kind of already there for him.
So I don't know about that. And then, I read a few graphic novels. I read a book that I talked about as an upcoming read last month, which was Rebel Blade by Davinia Evans, which was the last one in that series that I'd really enjoyed. I thought it was good. It was not as good as the previous 2 books in the series. It just it's a really weird thing where it's you're in the last book of the trilogy, and yet there's still new plot threads being added. And that meant that some of the stuff that was already there didn't necessarily get tied up super well.
Do you know what I mean? This the 3rd book?
This is the 3rd book in a series.
There's no point in introducing storylines in the last book.
Yeah. It just kind of felt a little bit like things got out of control, out from the author's control a little bit. Which,
Did it feel like it should have had another one?
It felt like it just needed a stricter edit.
Okay.
It felt like somebody needed to be like, we could just cut this. This doesn't contribute
doesn't need to be
anything.
here.
We could just take that out. I wonder if it's maybe some of it might be stuff that the author had wanted to add, had wanted to include in the previous books, and hadn't had space in those books because of the stuff that was going on. Because the first two are pretty like
Chunky.
tight, right? They're pretty like, there's not like a lot of unnecessary stuff in the first two. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if maybe she was like, oh, but I really wanted to write this aspect of this world or whatever, so I'm just going to stick it in here. And it just felt a little out of place at times.
That kind of sucks.
But I still gave it a 4.75. It's just
Hell yeah.
terrible 5 stars. So it's like...
This is why I love tie-in books sometimes. Or like little short stories.
Yes.
Rather than
it
just
definitely felt like the sort
out.
of thing where she could have just written like a little novella to cover some of the stuff that she obviously wanted to include, but couldn't.
Because that's... I do like people who like write novellas for like in between, like time jumps between books and stuff. I like stuff like that.
2.5.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah.
I don't read many of them, but I like them.
I like the idea of them.
I like the idea. I can appreciate and then not read them.
Yeah, and then
Because it was an ebook.
the other novel that I read last month was Strange Practice by Vivian Shaw.
Oh, that had a gorgeous cover.
It's got a very cool cover.
It's very nice.
It's the first book in this series about Dr. Greta Helsing, who is she's a doctor, and she runs a medical practice in London for the undead and like supernatural creatures of London. So it's, there's like banshees with like vocal strain and mummies who's, they keep needing like new bones for their feet or whatever.
Love that.
And then she finds herself getting tangled up in like a sort of murder mystery thing going on. It's very sort of Rivers of London-y, but with like a slightly different bent.
I was gonna weirdly say it sounds like Monster High. Yes,
kind of.
Like it. Kind of.
I can see where you're coming from. I enjoyed it. I thought it's one of those books that I wouldn't say is like, I wouldn't describe it as like technically fantastic writing, right? Like on a technical level, but it's like sometimes you just need something that's just fun and easy, right? And the same is true of like Rivers of London, right? Where it's just like you just read it as like a little refresher, and that was definitely how I would describe that. But I enjoyed it.
It looked super cute. I added it to my to-read list when I saw you reading it.
I think you might enjoy it. Yeah, there's two of the like main cast are vampires, but one of them's a vampire with an I and one's a vampire with a Y. And there are like in-universe differences between those two types of vampire.
One's Nosferatu, one's sparkly. I
don't think either of them are sparkly. I feel like that might be a reference one of them makes at some point though.
Oh, I'd love that.
I might be wrong, but I think it's like one of them is like classic vampire, can't go out in daylight, and then I think the other one is like more able to go out in daylight. I can't remember the difference, but there are differences.
Astarian.
Just thought we were over Astarian already.
No, I'm so off topic for a second right now. I find him really annoying.
I didn't play very much of Baldur's Gate. I didn't get very far. I think I needed to play it with somebody.
Yeah.
But
I'm fine.
Right off the bat upon meeting Astarian, I was like, I hate this guy.
I hate him.
And I literally the only reason anybody gives a fuck about him is because he's conventionally attractive.
See, no.
Which is not to say I find him hot. But I see that he is like...
I see that he's attractive.
The, like, conventional beauty standards. Yeah. Exactly.
I really like Neil, but I'm also like, nah. I'd rather have Will. I find Will is...
Oh, 100%.
That is my current romance in Baldur's Gate. I love him. I went so off topic, I heard vampire.
Yeah, no. Fair.
Brain rot.
What about you? What have you been reading recently?
I don't know what the fuck happened
rubbish,
in February.
Apparently.
Absolute shit. So, like, there's been some good ones. Like, I had my reread of Dune, which I really like because I listened to the audiobook. It was grand.
All right.
But then I read our book club book. Really liked it.
Sorry, the audiobook of Dune, right?
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that there's, like, a full cast one and also just, like, a narrated one?
Yes. So
Which
this was
one was
the
it that you-
full cast one,
Right.
which I
How
liked
do you
a
feel
lot
about
better.
full cast ones?
I like them. I find it's easier for the case of Dune to differentiate who's talking.
Especially when there's like a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a certain lapse in crossover because some people play the different people.
Mm-hmm.
So it got a little bit confusing. But
Right.
in the case of Dune, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But in other cases, I'm not too fussed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
No, I was
epics,
just- yeah.
I think are good for full cast. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan. I like the music as well, especially on 2x speed because the music just sounds really weird.
I still don't understand how you can listen to things that
I
fast.
can't fucking stand natural pauses in speech.
I mean, I have to speed things up, but I can't do 2 times. That's just...
No. Okay, I'm going to go on to... I'm currently listening to an audiobook of Adrian. Because I caved and got the city... Adrian! Let me see what fucking speed I'm currently listening to. 2.7.
Jesus. I can't go above like 1.4 without stuff starting to sound really distorted for me.
Yeah, sometimes it has to be that way though.
How can you possibly, like, understand what's going
Yeah.
on at that speed? I don't understand it.
I don't know, sometimes I just absolutely zone in on it though.
Okay.
It just works, it's
I
absolute
feel like...
gibberish and it's great.
Well, yeah, I feel like I'd be missing out so much.
Yeah, there is some times where I have to like, this is a 1.5 situation, but if it's like a lot of exposition, I'm like, this is how my brain would scan the page
Okay.
anyway. So I don't know, it works my brain. But yeah, I ended up reading utter kind of crap. I tried Red Rising.
Yes.
Holy shit, I've never DNF'd something faster. Like I got to 150 pages really fast.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's halfway. And then I was
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
holy
It's like
shit,
a-
this is so insufferable.
Oh, no.
I can't do it. I wanted to like it because it's, you know, one of the classic like sci-fis that everyone's read.
Yeah.
That's everywhere. And that I follow on Tumblr just to see the fan art of it because I think it's cool. And then it was just so... You should cause a revolution because I say so and I'm your wife and I'm going to die in 10 pages.
Which, I guess
will
for
cause it.
you will have read this right after City of Last Chances, right?
Yeah. And I was like,
City of
that's
Last
such a good
Chances is
uprising.
a lot of, like, revolution stuff.
Yeah. Done in a really well way. And then this one, it's just really like, I'm
A
telling
bit
you to do it.
heavy-handed, right?
Yeah. Like, you are a miner. You mine all day. Just come to the surface, see that there's grass on this Mars planet, and then kill everyone. Okay. No, thank you. I'd rather not. It was just really boring, and I felt bad, and I was like, oh. But then I immediately went on to Rewrite the Storm,
Yes.
which you messaged me saying you really wanted to read it.
It was one that I'd seen and had on my list of like
Yeah.
books to get maybe at some point.
See,
But I
'cause
hadn't pulled the trigger because I was like, I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure. And then I saw your review of it and I promptly removed it from my list.
Good, but is it the capitalization of why I fucking hate
Yeah.
this shit? It's
Yeah. I read your whole review and I was like, oh, never mind.
I have so many pictures of quotes on my phone that I could have included in that, but I didn't want to because they're just bad.
Oh, God.
It was 2 stars. It probably could be lower, to be honest. Do you care about spoilers for it?
No. Well, I'm
Okay,
never going to
good.
read it.
It's 3 POVs. One from one person that's really cool and could like speak to dead people and had a dead person in their mind, always with her. And it was really hard to tell which one actually had the body to begin with
Uh-huh.
at one point, which I thought was really fucking cool.
Yep.
And then after like 5 chapters, we barely ever hear from her again.
Oh, no.
Which was the only reason I wanted to fucking read the book, because she sounded cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a character who's part of like this horse. It's basically like Éomer from Lord of the Rings. They're kind of Rohirrim. They've just been evicted from their country or thrown out. And basically, I don't fucking know why he was a POV, other than the fact that their like army pillages a bunch and doesn't really impact the story at all. And then you have the heir to the throne, who's actually just boring as shit, because she's like, I'm little old me, how could I ever become emperor? And then fucking
God.
does. in like 100 pages. Her stepdad, who's the God Emperor, who's meant to be indestructible, fucking gets shanked at one point and just fucking dies. He's on page, he actually talking for like 5 pages, and then the next thing you know, he's fucking dead.
Incredible.
And it's like, what was the point in creating like such a imposing figure that's like cannot die and is seen as like a great threat, and he's like talked to be like godlike and characteristic, and it's like, what was the point in any of this? And there was just so much sexual assault. It was so fucking uncomfortable. And yeah, they compared it to being a dead horse. That was a great line. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, it should have been 200 pages. It was crap. I never want to read from this author.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah. I guess fuck Devin Madsen.
Devin Madsen, fuck's sake. What happened?
Everybody else has talked about.
Yeah. Because I read a bunch of 5-star reviews.
Yeah, I see. I'm looking at that.
How is there so many? Or like, at least there's loads of like high 4s. And I'm
nobody else talking about the sexual assault? Nope.
It's a whole like 8 pages as well, where like these guys are just huddled around them and just chanting as a way of protesting and not actually doing anything.
Gee.
It needed an editor. It just needed someone to just be like, please no. Please don't do this. So it sucked ass.
Nobody else talking about it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So, it was a really fun time.
Don't read that one.
Don't read that one. I wish the fucking necromancy spirit was more in it. That's all I wanted to read was her POV, and then she also sucked.
No, it sounds like a not good bad time.
Not good bad time. I jinxed myself. I finished it though. More I could say for Red Rising.
Yeah, that was brave of you.
Thank you. I just wanted to know how it ended. You know,
sometimes you have to plow through.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Please say you're reading something actually good at the moment.
So,
you're reading something good.
Well, firstly, I'm currently reading our book club book.
Yeah,
by
really
Tchaikovsky. I'm enjoying that, but obviously not going to talk about it because we'll talk about that. And then I'm currently reading a non-fiction book that I've had on my TBR since literally 2022. It's Warrior Queens and Quiet Revolutionaries: How Women Also Built the World by Kate Moss.
I've heard about that.
We had an event with her at the bookshop in 2022.
That's how I remember her.
When this book came out, and I was like doing the sound for the event and was there, and I have a signed copy from the event. And I was like, I should finally actually read that. It's very interesting. I'm really enjoying it. It's really fascinating. It's like broken down by like sort of what area of stuff the women did. So it's like there's a section about teachers, there's a section about scientists, all this sort of stuff. But also Kate Moss was she discovered that her great grandmother was a woman who had written a bunch of books and was like a really well-known author in her day, but has since been like totally forgotten about. And so she like ties in like her story of her like researching her family history and trying to find out more about this great grandmother, like woven in throughout her talking about all of these other incredible women, which is really cool.
That's really fun.
I will say the paperback has a really shit cover. It's like the hardback is like purple and green.
Gorgeous.
And then the paperback is like randomly pink and orange. I would, it's bad. Here, hang on, I'll send you them so you can see.
Please do, I want to see it.
So, I'll not put it in that channel. Here we go. So there's the hardback.
Oh, she pretty.
Very pretty, right? Here's the paperback. I like all the
swooshies.
It's like totally different vibe. It's really bad.
What
I hate
the fuck?
Yeah.
Why does it look like a poster?
I know. I hate it.
Yeah.
So I'm reading that, and then this is the less good side of things.
Oh God, okay.
I'm listening to. So I've been working my way through Star Wars: The High Republic, as we all know, and I'm currently listening to Tempest Runner. Right now, Tempest Runner is an audio drama in The High Republic, right? Yeah. Which means that unlike the other audiobooks of The High Republic that I've listened to, it is full cast. You can also get it, I think, as just a book that is like the script. But I was like, I don't want to read a script. I want to just listen to it. Except, I would say a solid 90% of the voice acting really terrible.
Oh fuck, really?
And I really don't understand how, because this is Disney. Like, they've got the money, but it's like there's literally parts where it's like one of them will be like, "Oh, we must use the Force, I believe." You know, it's like it's really wooden. There's like it's so so bad.
Why do I just see like a kid holding up a light saying, "I believe"?
Oh God, it was just like it's just painful, and it's really halted my progress. I might unironically go and get the script of it and read that instead, because I want to know the story, but the audiobook
fucked up.
It's just I had to turn it down to 1x speed, because any faster like got really distorted. Like the audio got like really distorted.
Oh.
Which means that I have to suffer through some really, really slow, bad voice acting. And because all of the different narrators are like talking at slightly different speeds, it's like if I turn it up, some of them end up being too fast, and if I leave it at one time, some of them are too slow. It's horrible. I'm really not impressed, and I don't get it. The one redeeming part is that some of the voices are done by my best friend Mark Thompson, who is the guy who narrates the adult audiobooks of The High Republic, and his voices are great. Most of the others are just bad.
That sucks. You'd think Disney.
You would think. This is like, fuck. Come on. So yeah, I've been very unimpressed with
Sometimes
this.
multicast can be hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, it's Star Wars, it's Disney, surely they can get some like good like
high
voice
grade
actors and narrators and stuff to come in, and apparently not. Apparently they just plucked some random people off the fucking street.
Because I know that they one time used, I forget Luke Skywalker's voice actor.
Mark Hamill.
Because I know that he's done a bunch of them.
Yeah,
or
probably.
he did some voice acting.
Yeah,
like, they can get actual actors.
Yeah, you would think.
Why not?
But no, it's like there's just some performances that are just like really, really bad.
That's kind of shit.
Yeah. So yeah.
Damn. Shit.
What about you? What are you currently?
Technically, I'm still reading the first High Republic book.
That's
I got distracted.
You read, like, 12 books at a time.
Yeah, it's a bit intense. I got distracted by shit fantasy. Okay.
I'm reading 3 books right now, and I can only really read one at a time. Like, I haven't touched my audiobook or my non-fiction book in the past like week and a half, because I've been working on Adrian Tchaikovsky. So I don't understand how people could like swip back and forth.
See, I'm currently switching between Cage of Souls by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which I've been reading for quite a while now, but also got distracted by shit fantasy. But I'm halfway through it now, so we're good.
Yeah, once you hit that 50% mark, it's like suddenly everything speeds up.
Does it but? Because nothing fucking happened until this moment, and it's been 300 pages. But he's been in prison. It's a whole thing. It's our main character is like on a planet that's dying, and the sun is like too close to the planet, so everything's turning toxic. And he's on a prison island. I think I compared it to some classic novel last time, but it's gone like off the actual.
I want to say, did you say something about the Count of Monte Cristo?
Yes. It feels very similar prison-y vibes. But then it just kind of. It's fun, but it's also extremely kind of dull because nothing's happening, which kind of sucks because it feels like he's introducing so many cool little plot lines and yet not having that time to like develop it out.
Right.
Even though the book is like 700 pages.
I was going to say, it's quite a long one.
It's quite a chunky one, but it just feels like it should have been broken up a bit more. But
right.
Yeah. But I'm going between that and the new 4-4 Inkling mini essay one, Look, Don't Touch, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. Because I read the blurb and it did not sound like what it was. Because I knew it like went through like the music and the kind of social media stuff of like it's okay not to be okay or okayness movement thing.
Yeah.
But they have a whole section on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Interview with the Vampire TV show, and I fucking love both of them, and it was great. I'm halfway through it and it's just delightful. I do think there's a lot of like, you can tell it's written by two people by the way that the both of them write differently. Like one of them uses a lot of like brackets and the other one uses a lot of like slashes to change words into two meanings. They also use a lot of like like, you know, like text emoji kind of things, like the love heart with like that and a 3. And they use a lot of that throughout it, which I find kind of fun. But yeah, it's cute. I
have to say, I don't think I would find that fun. I think I would find it piss annoying. But...
Oh, it is a tiny bit. But they mainly use it at the start of like to chunk out paragraphs to make them individual. But their author acknowledgements have a lot of it, and it's like, oh, this reminds me of like a Discord chat a little bit. But it's a very good book otherwise. I like it a lot. I need to continue because I'm like on the cusp of finishing it. And it is I think it's going to be like a 4 stars so far. So far.
Right.
Which is what I needed.
Yeah.
My rating for last month. Ooh. My average rating.
Mine went up, yours went down.
Oh, it went real down. And mine wasn't even that high to begin with, and it went down.
Yeah.
My goal for the year, reading good books, is fucked.
It's fine because it's only it's March
it's only
now.
March. Yeah. It's only the start of March.
There's plenty of time for it to get better. Don't worry.
Sure. we can hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise I'm thoroughly enjoying both of them, kind of. But yeah.
Yeah.
What are you reading next? Tell me. Tell me next.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think chances are my next read is probably going to be Emberclaw by L.R. Lamb, because I read Dragonfall by them 2 years ago. Really enjoyed it. I'm sure I've talked about it on this podcast before. And Emberclaw is the sequel. I might have to reread Dragonfall because I can't remember a lot of what happens. But that's probably going to be next. But I do have quite a few books on my TBR that I'm like wanting to get to. Like I picked up, so they've published the Murderbot books as like little collections.
Yeah. I want to
so
read
they put like 2 or 3 stories in a book, and I've got volume 1. Which I think is the first 2 stories on my TBR. I really want to read that. And what was the other one? Oh, for Valentine's Day, my partner got me Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie, which is like classic. Like I say, classic is not classic, but it's like really good. Apparently, sci-fi space opera type thing, which I've heard really good things about.
Love a space
so I definitely
opera.
want to read that soon. And also, there's a lot of books coming out this month that I kind of want to read. So, yeah. I probably pick up Oathbound at some point by Tracy Dion, because that's the 3rd book in the like Legendborn series. And I really enjoyed the first 2. There's a lot of stuff, but I think Emberclaw's probably going to be next.
Oh my God. Very nice.
Also, have you seen the cover for Emberclaw? Because it's very pretty.
I have not. I remember being kind of like meh about the cover for the last one.
This one's purple.
Emberclaw. Even oh, she pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's purple.
Oh, I like how they've only got 2 legs as well on the dragon. That's pretty.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
I'm thinking of the wrong book. The first one is better.
they're 2 legs and wings dragon, not
Good.
4 legs and wings dragon.
Good.
Are you a dragon purist?
I just like them having 2 legs. They shouldn't have little fucking like dinosaur ass arms. They don't need them.
I don't mind it when they've got like 4 full size legs.
Yeah,
and also wings.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
I feel like it makes sense in a way that they should have 2 legs and wings.
That makes sense because the wings have little claws on the end of them.
Exactly, the wings are arms.
Yeah.
/legs/wings.
Exactly.
Like birds.
And yet, exactly like birds. They're like
Dragons are birds.
They're
Everybody knows
basically
it.
scaled pigeons.
Scaled pigeons.
I mean, I actually love the first cover book of this. They're so pretty. I wish
They're nice.
I remember. Yeah. I wish I got into the first one. I never did.
Yeah, you tried it, didn't you?
Yeah, it wasn't for me, but it looked really cute.
Yeah. It's very, there's a lot of like romance focus, so I could understand why it might not be for somebody who is Eroace.
The Plague Bringer. Sorry, not me being Eroace. I was just reading the. Sorry, I was reading the thing.
Spreading your Eroace plague.
My plague, it will infect all.
Plague.
The plague. Arcadius feels the powerful bones of the Plague Bringer. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
I couldn't remember what it was about.
Yeah. I can't remember a lot of it either.
Like
I just remember there being a very sexy pickpocketing scene.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I remember you talking about that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, what about you? What's up next? Something better, I hope.
Hopefully. So I struggled because I don't know what I'm reading next after my current 3. But my hope, as in it's sitting on my bedside table, it needs to be read because it looks really cute, is A City on Mars. Can we settle space? Should we settle space? And have we really thought it through? It's got a lot of pictures. I'm so excited.
Pictures.
I love
like a
pictures.
good picture book.
And I love how the pictures are fake diagrams that are just funny.
Excellent.
That are such as like people touching down on Mars and then just like throwing up a peace sign. Being like, should we get out of here?
I do really like the
alive.
design of the cover as well.
Me too. I think it's like
a cool
really...
cover.
It reminds me a lot of... Oh, fuck. It's that sci-fi duology we've both read. Fuck. It's with Hal and Aeon and... They work for the corporation.
Oh!
Yeah. What is it called?
Oh, God. Ambit's Run.
Yes!
Yes.
Ambit's Run.
Gravity Lost
Gravity
is
Lost.
one of them. And the other one, the first one, is called Something Different.
Yeah. Gravity Lost. Hold music.
LM Sagas, Ambit's Run, Cascade Failure.
Cascade Failure. It reminds me, the cover reminds me a lot of that. Because it's kind of like, almost, I want to say, comic booky. In a way. And I kind of like it. But it just really kind of sets out a kind of guide if we want to future settle space. And it has interviews and it does all your generic techie stuff as well as like how you build farms in space and is it actually like possible? It sounded really fun. And someone bought it at the shop and I was like, I need to read this. And my hold finally came through at the library, so it needs to be read. But that is literally the only thing, because I'm struggling to find anything I want to read at the moment.
Well, I guess by the time you're done with, the books you're currently reading and that, it'd probably be time to read next month's book club book.
Exactly, so it works perfectly.
Bished, bashed and boshed right there.
Exactly. And then I can worry about what I'm reading later.
Exactly. Put it off. Make future you deal with it.
Exactly.
Especially because by that point it'll be April and future you will be dealing with other stuff.
Like graduating.
I didn't want to use the word.
Getting the fuck out of there. I'm so excited. I've marked my calendar.
You're nearly there.
I'm almost there.
Almost there.
Almost there.
Anyway.
No, it looks really fun. I'm excited, but we'll plan to read it. And I've not read any. I've read like one non-fiction book this year. I think
I have DNF'd one non-fiction book this year. That's the extent of my.
Oh shit! I was
reading that book
one.
Proto about languages.
Yeah.
I just got really bored, Eve. I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing more complex than that. I was like, I was picking it up and I was like, I don't think I care.
I don't think I want to be here anymore.
It was getting a bit repetitive.
That's fair.
And also I discovered that the author not a linguist, so I was like, why are you
Oh.
not writing this book?
Why? Yeah.
And there were times where it felt a little bit like she was trying to show off how much she knew. Do you know what I mean?
This is my big brain moment. Here's a splurge of
It was
all
like,
the
look
concepts
how
and
much
ideas.
research I've done. I understand linguistics now. Mm-hmm. And it was just a little bit annoying.
Here's a bunch of references in the single paragraph that I've...
It felt like the sort of book that could have been significantly shorter. So
Yeah.
I dunfed it.
Because it was chunky, wasn't it?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
It wasn't super... I mean, it looks longer than it is because non-fiction, so it's always got, like, a shit ton of fucking... not acknowledgements, like references and stuff at the end.
Oh, nice. Okay. Reference.
But so it was only... I think the actual, like, section that you would, read... I think it's only like 300 something pages.
Oh.
So it's not like a big, chonky,
Yeah.
big boy.
Sometimes non-fiction books are like that, though. They can get really
Yeah.
so dull.
Yeah, I thought it would be interesting because of what it was about, but no. So
You win some, you lose some.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I believe
Yes.
you have a rant you want to
I have a
today.
little bit of a rant that I would like to
Yes.
to rant about.
Hey, good.
I was mentioning
Tell
to
me.
you earlier that I saw a post on TikTok that was like fantasy books coming out in March,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, oh, cool. And I was swiping through, and I saw listed among fantasy books the next Hunger Games book. Now,
It's not fantasy.
exactly,
It's
right?
dystopian.
Hunger Games is not fantasy. And I think people are confusing speculative fiction with fantasy. I understand that there's a lot of that a lot of bookshops will put sci-fi and fantasy together, right? And I understand why. But I feel like some people need to understand that fantasy is a specific thing. And just because it's not set in our world right now doesn't mean it's magically fantasy. Speculative fiction.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. The Hunger Games is speculative fiction. It is dystopian. You could argue that it's sci-fi. I personally wouldn't describe it as sci-fi. Because again, I feel like sci-fi is a specific thing.
Yeah.
But I would definitely never call it fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy is a weird one to compare the Hunger Games to.
Yeah.
Especially with what it deals with.
Yeah.
Because it's very much not fantastical. It's very realistic.
Yeah.
Kind of realistic.
It is. There's
more of just,
nothing there's nothing
yeah.
in the Hunger Games that is something that doesn't exist in real life.
Yeah. It's not
Right.
far-fetched.
Exactly. There's not there's no magic, there's no other races, there's no really advanced technology or anything like that. It's like a near future dystopia.
Yeah.
That's the point of it, is that it's supposed to be just so you know, capitalism is going to look like that. That's, it's meant to be eerie with how realistically possible it could be.
Yeah.
So
And
I
it's
think
meant
to
to make a
describe it as
statement.
fantasy is... Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is not to say that fantasy doesn't make statements, because of course it does.
Of course.
But, it just annoyed me, and I've seen it time and time again. People not understanding that fantasy and speculative fiction are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Katniss
all
didn't...
all
yeah.
fantasy is speculative fiction. Not all speculative fiction is fantasy.
Yeah. Because Katniss did not, conjure a fireball and launch it at Snow. She can't do that. It's...
That
they're
would be
very
incredible if
different.
she did.
No, it would
But
be
no.
great if she did. But that's not how it works.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean, yeah. It feels like very quick this book's come out as well. I don't know why.
I know why. Money.
Money.
I think
I know nothing
it's
about
I
what
feel
the book's gonna
like
be. Yeah.
well, it's about Haymitch's Hunger Games.
Yeah, which I've read up a little bit because it was the double amount of people
Yes.
in it. Which sounds fun in theory. And I like Haymitch a lot.
I think the issue is that what happened was she'd written the Hunger Games trilogy. It was huge, right?
Yeah.
She then left it alone for a while. I don't think she wrote very much in the intervening time.
No.
And so then when she had the opportunity to write Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, right?
Yeah.
Presumably her publisher were like, hey, we would like you to print some more money for us. So we're going to get you to write a prequel about President Snow, right? Because that's what that's about, right?
Yeah.
And then that was hugely successful, got a film adaptation, hugely successful. People were talking about it, people loved it. And I guarantee that what happened is somebody at the publisher went, oh, well, let's churn out another one. For as long as this is a money printer, let's just keep on pressing that money button. And that makes me sad.
Yeah.
I understand. I don't blame anybody because you got to get money to live. And writing is not
very lucrative sometimes.
It's not very lucrative unless you are somebody who gets huge, like the Hunger Games. So I can't blame an author for like going along with that, but I do wonder how much it's like necessary.
Yeah, because I know there was a lot of speculation when the last book was coming out that it was going to be Haymitch's book and not President Snow's.
Yeah,
because I know they thought it would be a swippy swap, but I didn't fucking expect a President Snow book. I don't love how all the girlies are fawning over him. No.
Well, that's what the girlies do, though, isn't it?
Come on, girlies. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
He subjugates people. It's horrible.
Yeah. He's literally
Yeah, he's fucking awful. But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
My hope is that this is the last vaguely interesting thing she can write in this world.
I don't know what else you could write.
Exactly, right? Like, you've done the first Hunger Games, you've done the last Hunger Games, you've done Haymitch's backstory. Surely there's nothing else you can do now,
it's
right?
Like, not like you can do like a Peter side story because he's just a baker. Is it they're going to do a cozy speculative fiction about the bakery?
cozy spec fic set in the world of the Hunger Games.
Yep.
Oh.
It'd be so fucking bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost said cozy fantasy and I caught myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
I agree.
It's just like yet another aspect of the like TikTok world we live in.
Yeah.
Where media literacy is dead.
Media literacy is fucking...
We just conflate every fucking genre that we want into whatever we want to call them, because words don't matter anymore. Meaning doesn't matter anymore.
Nope.
On a related note, no spoilers obviously, but my partner and I have been watching Severance, right? It's fucking fantastic.
Love Severance. I love it.
So strongly recommend it.
I'm
you
on
up to date on
2.
Severance? No.
I'm on episode 1, season 2.
Okay. I'm not going to spoil anything.
So fucking good.
But the most recent, well, not the most recent episode anymore because there's one that's out today, but episode 7 of season 2.
I've seen a bit of a spoiler. It looks wild.
It's fucking fantastic. It is a brilliant episode of TV. Possibly the best episode of TV I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
Genius. Okay. So many people on the internet be like, nothing happened. This is boring.
What?
Now, when you get to episode 7, you will understand why that pisses me off so much. There is so much information in that episode, right? Like it's like a really like exposition-y, really fascinating, really revealing of like what's going on. And there's so many people who are like, oh, nothing happened, I skipped it. And it's like you're missing out on so much important context about the story because what you're expecting is like Marvel Cinematic Universe, constant action on the screen, flashy lights and big noises. That's what we've been like conditioned to want in all media is constant events, right? Sometimes actually you just have to not, and sometimes having no events, you do this wonderful thing called character development. Don't know if you've heard of it. Some people apparently haven't.
Sorry, character what? I've never heard that word before. Yeah. Holy shit! It's just a new.
So when you get to episode 7, you will see why it's particularly pissed me off. But it is just another example of like people having absolutely zero media literacy and zero understanding whatsoever of like how these things work, and that just because something is not being like told to you explicitly doesn't mean you haven't been given that information.
I have so many theories about Severance. It's fucking great, and you need to like look into every single fucking detail of that show.
Yeah,
like the whole thing with the clocks, and how everything works behind the scenes.
It's very reminiscent of The Locked Tomb in that regard. Where
Absolutely.
It's like everything that happens, everything that you see, everything that you hear is so deliberate.
Yeah. And I've seen so many, like, theories about Greek mythology within it, because everyone's saying it's like a Orpheus Eurydice kind of retelling in the sense. But then someone was called Persephone in episode 2, and I've not let it go.
Yeah.
It's the sister. I fucking love Severance. It's fucking good.
It's such a fantastic TV show. If you're not watching it, I would really recommend it. Like, maybe like, wait until this season ends, which has only got like 3 more episodes. Get a 7-day, Apple TV Plus free trial and just binge the whole thing.
Please do. Oh.
It's really fantastic, and it is a prime example of so many people who just do not understand that sometimes media doesn't want to just smack you over the head with information.
Yeah, sometimes you actually have to use context clues.
It really baffles me as well, because when I was in school, when I was in primary school, the like recurring message was like, show don't tell, show don't tell, show don't tell. And now apparently everybody's being taught to expect to just be like smacked over the head with information.
Yeah. This is the central theme to the plot. Here is now 20 pages of action.
The MCU is like a prime example of that, because there's nothing subtle in the MCU.
No. There is not.
And the only time anybody's ever done anything subtle, it's been in shows that get cancelled.
Yep. So just like, I miss you.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I know what you mean.
Sort of a triple part rant there.
Triple part rant. I'm with you. Media literacy is, oh my god, it's kind of killing me. Especially when it
makes me really sad. And like, I'm not expecting everybody to analyse everything 24/7.
No, I don't want everything to be analysable.
Because that's really depressing, and I can't stand the people who are out there doing that, where it's like, you can't just enjoy a thing, everything has to be analysed. But there are some things that it's like, it's not even expecting you to do like deep analysis, it's just expecting you to pay attention, and then you will learn things. But because it's not handing you these things on a fucking silver platter, people are like, oh, it didn't tell me anything, nothing was revealed, it was a really boring episode. No.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Fucking wild.
Oh my god. Ranted out.
Well. This has been.
We made it.
We did it. This has been. We fucking did it.
This has been.
Well. If you like our voices and you want to hear more from us, we are reading an Adrian Tchaikovsky this month as well. Later in the month, we are doing City of Last Chances, which is a fun little story that I will tell you nothing about because it's really hard to describe. Other than that, it's a revolutionary story in a city, and there's magical stuff, kind of.
I'm really enjoying it.
It's really fucking good.
It's really
Spoiler. It's really enjoyable. If you listen to the audiobook, because they put on accents and the guy can only really do Irish, and it's great.
Oh, no.
It's great. Like, this guy's meant to be Scottish. That's an Irish man. It's great. It's a great time. We'll be reading that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it soon, so you can tune in then.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't think we have anything else left to say unless you do.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, perfect. Shannon, well.
Yeah.
We'll
see you in a couple of weeks.
Catch you later. Thank you for joining us here at the Tavern. Phoenix, where can our listeners find you outside the podcast?
You can find me at Beans and Fungi on Blue Sky and Instagram. What about you, Eve?
And you can find me under Cozy Crow with an S and not a Z on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky and YouTube.
And of course, make sure that you're following the podcast itself on Instagram at Hearth and Tome Pod, Blue Sky at Hearth and Tome, TikTok at hearth.and.tome, and YouTube at Hearth and Tome Pod to get updates about when episodes come out, as well as behind the scenes bits and bobs.
Yeah. Bye. The music used within this episode was Wholesome by Kevin MacLeod through incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.